Let's get on to the Wednesday Wrangle now with Liz Storer, co-host of The Late Debate, coming up at 10 o'clock tonight. And joining us from Melbourne, as ever, is Justin Smith, columnist for the Herald Sun, author and man about town. Let's start in your state tonight, Justin, because this decision has been handed down by the Energy Regulator, which has knocked back the concerns of farmers and others who didn't want a big transmission line going through their properties near Ballarat. It's knocked it back, and they're going to have to put up with it. You know, this stuff is just so brutally unfair, trampling over the rights of landholders, and it's going to create a hell of an uproar there. And we're going to see this sort of stuff right around the country where transmission lines and renewable projects are going in.
Of course, we've got transmission lines all over the place, but look, I'm putting aside the energy debate, which I know isn't an easy thing to do, but putting that aside, I hate seeing people like this getting rolled over, you know, and yes, it's going to be a mess for them. I know they're going to hate it. And I guess, you know, for me, just personally, I would have liked to have seen them emerge victorious. But that ain't the way it goes when little people come up against the government, is it?
Yeah, it's shocking. It's a bit like the castle, isn't it? People not having control over their own property. No one wants a massive power line going through their property, Liz, but a lot of people are going to have to put up with it if this stuff keeps going ahead.
And to be clear, they weren't saying you can't build it here. They were saying put it underground, please. So it was a modest request, and they've been turned down. This is utterly ridiculous. We all know we're not going to get to 80% renewables by 2030. That is absolutely out of reach. Currently, 60% of our power still comes from coal. 2030 is less than 7 years away. It ain't
happening.
Yeah, and like you say, this is just the beginning. This is a small group of people who were just trying to get a small win here. They weren't saying no. They were just saying, please do it underground. The government wouldn't even come to that party. And what we're seeing now is private property being forcibly commandeered by the government. It's just the beginning in the name of their green dream coming true.
Yeah, we spoke a few weeks ago to the Ballarat Potato Growers Association boss, Chris Stevens, a farmer in the area. Here's what he said.
99.9% of the landholders in the district are right behind the fight. No one's going to give up and no one's going to give in. And no one's going to take the padlocks off the gate. They can just piss off because no one is going to let them in.
Yeah, well, they've lost this stage of that fight. Let's see what happens in the future. Very expensive to put it underground, but hey, they say renewable energy is cheap, then they can put some of the costs into putting it underground. This is going to be a massive issue for state and federal governments around the country for a long while to come. Let's go to another issue. I want to talk about Alan Joyce, of course, the former Qantas boss, Justin. He's off in Ireland catching up with his mum, who's been ill, but he's been pictured there. He said a few words. He's basically said, leave me alone. I'm here to look after my mum. Is that a fair cop, or should he decide that he can take a week off, come over here and front the Senate inquiry?
Yeah, look, I think that's a really good. I love that plan. I think that he stays there and takes care of his mum, and let's hope that he wouldn't lie about a thing like that. And if he is indeed telling the truth, when she is better and when he's able to come back, he should make a commitment, and make a commitment right now, that he will front the Senate inquiry. But it looks like, with the help of the Labor Party and the Greens, that he's managed to weasel his way out of appearing, which I think speaks volumes. The fact that he's fought so hard, and others have fought so hard to stop him from appearing before the Senate, I think that
he's just got to man up.
It says it all to you, really, doesn't it?
He's just got to man up and come back. I dare say he's got a few frequent flyer points, Liz. He's got to come back. He can do it in a day. He can stay here a day, and he can fly back home. He only needs to be away for 3 days, and he can front up.
Well, after his millions-dollar bonus, he doesn't need the frequent flyer points. But I call bogus on this mum story. The operation was 9 months ago. It's not that she's ailing. And how hilarious is this? Camping out at your mum's house. Isn't that what most of us do when we're under siege.
Yeah, if our flight isn't cancelled by
This is
Qantas.
the behaviour of a man who is now a private citizen, in fairness to him, but he has absolutely no intention of answering for illegally laying off 1,700 workers during the pandemic, or returning his millions of dollars in bonuses, or fronting up to say what conversations were had with the Prime Minister. You two were fraternising and we know it. We're never going to get answers out of him. Never.
Yeah. Still got to try, don't you? Got to bring it back.
You do have to try, and the committee is doing well to, you know, portray that very strong. But my understanding is, for as long as he is overseas, they cannot force him to come back, and he knew that when he left. And this mum's story is just so convenient.
Can we change the words to the song and say we still bring Alan Joyce home, or something like that?
Yes, please. Now, again, we'll get working on it.
Another development in your state, Justin, is this one on electric vehicles. Now, the state government there, Daniel Andrews and Labor generally, there's never a problem they can't fix with a tax. They whacked an additional road usage tax on electric vehicles, of course, because they don't pay any petrol excise. But the petrol excise goes to the federal government. You know, the state government was trying to rip them off. Guess what? The High Court says no go, and they're going to have to come up with another plan.
Oh, I love this story. With all the misery that is around at the moment, all the real misery in the Middle East and the referendum on the weekend, I adore this story that a government, one particular arm of government, has come in to try and slap a tax on people, and they were never allowed to do it. Now, imagine if the three of us had got together and decided that we would start fining people or putting a levy on something illegally. Can you imagine what the hell would happen with the three? We'd be sharing a cell. It'd be the Wednesday wrangle in Pentridge somewhere if we had ever tried to do that. Yet a state government comes along, tries to slap on a tax. I just love these two people that got in this fight and knocked it down. It's gorgeous.
It is brilliant. It is another sort of castle link there, and good on them, and let's hope everyone gets their money paid back. Good luck. Just before we go, we've got to show you that one-time famous teenage climate activist, now in her 20s, but she's still going around the place getting arrested at climate protests. Have a look.
Move back! Move back! Move back! Move back! Move back! You're blocking the cage! Move back! Move back! You're blocking the cage! Move back! Welcome to the UK, Greta!
Yeah, Greta arrested again, climate protest. She should just get over it and get a job, shouldn't she?
Oh, it's all about the photo ops at this point. The very fact that we're talking about it, I don't like giving her a platform because it really glorifies the whole movement and the fact that we're still fighting, and here she is as this bulwark of the movement, etc. and so on. Like, honestly, I'm sick of talking about
it. She's holding up their flag.
Oh, yeah, because she's achieving so much justice.